What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, with another edition of Where, Pick, and Dare, where I pick games for the various games that are occurring tomorrow. Whether it's football, baseball, basketball, basically whatever games I want to pick, I will pick them. With all that being said, on with the video. NBA. Philadelphia 76ers versus New York Knicks, Game 2. This is part of the second round of the NBA playoffs. The Knicks are up 1-0 in this series. The Sixers have a 21% chance to win. The Knicks have a 79% chance to win. This game is at New York. Um, for uh, for stats, the Knicks have more points per game, higher field goal percentage, more rebounds per game, assists per game. Sixers have more blocks per game and steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think the Knicks will beat the Sixers to go up 2-0 in the series. Minnesota Timberwolves versus San Antonio Spurs. Game 2. This is part of the second round of the NBA playoffs. The Wolves are up 1-0 in the series. They have a 24.2% chance to win, while the Spurs have a 75.8% chance to win. This is at San Antonio. For injuries, for the Wolves, Dosun moves the game time decision, and DiVincenzo is out. For the Spurs, Bryant's a game time decision, and Jones Garcia is out. For stats, Spurs have more points per game, field goal percentage is even. Spurs have more rebounds per game, assists per game. Wolves have more blocks per game and steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think the Spurs will beat the Timberwolves tomorrow to tie the series at 1-1. MLB. Milwaukee Brewers versus St. Louis Cardinals. The Brewers have a 56.1% chance to win. The Cardinals have a 43.9% chance to win. This game is at St. Louis for starting pitchers. For the Brewers, Jacob Misiorowski has a career ERA of 3.81, WHIP of 1.15. And for the Cardinals, Matthew Liberatore has a career ERA of 4.62, WHIP of 1.38. So that's good pitching for Misiorowski, not really good pitching for Liberatore. So it's a definite starting pitching advantage for the Brewers. So for injuries, for the Brewers, Misiorowski's day to day now does seem like he is playing tomorrow. Um, JB Bukauskas is on 7-day IL. Brand Woodruff is on 15-day IL. Christian Yelich is on 10-day IL, and Rob Zastrizny is on 60-day IL for the Cards. Matt Pushard's on 15-day IL, and Lars Newbar, Ikeson Henderson, Victor Santos, and Zach Thompson are on 60-day IL. For stats, the Cards have a higher batting average. Brewers have more runs. Cards have more hits, more home runs. Brewers have a higher on base percentage. Cards have a higher slugging percentage. ERA, more hits plus walks plus hits per innings pitched. More walks. Brewers have more strikeouts. Uh, Cards have a higher opponent batting average. So yeah, so the obviously home runs, that's a big advantage for the big difference for the Cardinals. They have almost twice as many home runs. You know, like 11 more hits than the Brewers. And yeah, 12 and Cards have 12 more walks, so that's kind of a problem. And the Brewers have 75 more strikeouts. So it hints that there's definite overall pitching advantage for the Brewers. Batting, at least for home runs, a little bit definitely a big advantage for the Cards, but everything else is even. So yeah, with that, the home field advantage for the Cards will help, but with that starting pitching advantage, that will really help early on. So that will contain a lot of the Cards, batting. So I think the Brewers will beat the Cardinals tomorrow. Cincinnati Reds versus Chicago Cubs. The Reds have a 35.6% chance to win, and the Cubs have a 64.4% chance to win. This game is at Chicago. For starting pitchers, for the Reds, Brady Singer has a career ERA of 4.28, WHIP of 1.32, and for the Cubs, Colin Ree has a career ERA of 4.41, WHIP of 1.27. So that's not really good pitching for either team, but not really significant difference here. So I think home field advantage would then take more advantage of that difference of that. So for injuries, for the Reds, Josh Stamouts on 7-day IL, Alex Young is out, Pierce Johnson's on bereavement, and Nick Lodolo and Caleb Ferguson are on 15-day IL. For the Cubs, Jackson Wiggins and Jeff Brigham are on 7-day IL, and Ethan Roberts, Hunter Harvey, and Jordan Wicks are on 15-day IL. For stats, the Cubs have a higher batting average, more runs, hits, home runs is even. Cubs have a higher on base percentage and slugging percentage. Reds have a higher ERA and have more walks plus hits per innings pitched. More walks. Cubs have more strikeouts, and Reds have a higher opponent batting average. So looking at these stats, honestly, Cubs having more hits and runs, that's a big difference compared to like they have 4 or 5 more runs and 56 more hits than the Reds, and that's a big difference. The other batting stats seem to be close. And for pitching, like Reds have 66 more walks, and Cubs have like 17 more strikeouts. So it hints that there's like a pitching advantage for the overall pitching advantage for the Cubs, and overall batting average as well. Batting advantage for the Cubs as well. So that's a big thing. So that will definitely help along with the home field advantage. So I think the Cubs will beat the Reds tomorrow. And that's it for picks. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my picks. Do you agree with them? Do you not? If you have different picks, you can put them in the comments. But other than that, please like, subscribe, and all that. Thank you for listening, and look forward to the next video.